So, in chapter 3, you introduce this concept of resilience ceiling. And this is after you
Mm,
go through the three myths. And I could ask you six questions about this chapter alone, but one of them that I really loved is you use this metaphor in the chapter comparing resilience to a rubber band that stretches until it finally snaps. And I love this
mhm,
because in my own book, I had this chapter on becoming a perspective harnesser. And I used the story of my friend Chris Cassidy, who at the time was training to become a SEAL at Buds. And he told me that the way he got through Buds was using this analogy. He said, hard times end, challenges end, and you need to look at your resilience like it's a rubber band. And sometimes it contracts and sometimes it expands. And what you need to look for is when it expands, not to let it break. And so he used that as a way to get through the micro moments of incredible pain, so that he could reach that point where it would constrict again and he would get a break and be able to recover. So, can you step into this and help the
Oh,
listener
yes.
understand? Yeah.
I'm going to take maybe an unpopular opinion. I'm popular in the fact that I'm a people pleaser and I hate disagreeing, but I feel professionally obligated to. That analogy is great, but we have to follow it to its logical conclusion. In Shatterproof, I use this analogy and I use the example of imagine you're back in high school and you're sitting in a class and your teacher is droning on about something that you neither understand nor care about. And you fiddle in your bag and you find a rubber band and you start stretching it and letting it go back, stretching it and letting it go back, kind of a makeshift fidget spinner, right? And over the semester, that rubber band becomes your constant companion. Every time you're stressed, you're pushing it open, you're putting it back. What happens to a rubber band over time if you keep doing that? It breaks, right? It will snap. And when it comes to this idea of hitting our resilience ceiling, most of us don't even know we have a resilience ceiling until we're bouncing off of it. In the same way that you're stretching your reliable rubber band, right? It's always served you well. But by the way, your stress keeps coming. So that's another sort of polite disagreement I'd have with that analogy, which is it assumes we live in a world where you can let the rubber band go back to normal for a long enough period of time. And so from my perspective, I actually think the analogy is really good to show the benefits of resilience. But what we miss is that it also shows us that resilience is an exhaustible resource. And I will tell you this from personal experience and from so many people that I've interviewed and studied, is it runs out at the worst possible time and the time we least expect it.
Maybe just a step back because I agree with what you're saying. I use this as part of a chapter where I was explaining the power of perspective shifts, meaning
Mhm.
so often we get into either or thinking. And when we do that, it causes us to get into this whiplash. But when we start allowing ourselves to get into more both and thinking, and I went into the
Mhm.
behavior science about it, we start finding an equilibrium to it. And then after this, I introduce the topic of how do you reach the optimal state of anxiety? And I used it to play into that as well. So I
Mhm.
completely agree with you. If you keep stretching it back and forth, overall, you're going to wear the thing out and you're going to
Right.
wear yourself out.
Exactly.